doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
We are therefore honoured to formally launch and present Africa PLC today. And to do that, I'm now going to give the floor to my colleague, Mr. Mynhardt Oosthuizen, to give us a brief presentation. Over to you, Mynhardt.
Africa PLC is an innovative B2B and B2G eTrade and e-commerce industrial marketplace and fintech platform that assists you grow your business in Africa and supports you champion the African Continental Free Trade Area. Accessing trade opportunities, credible partners, trade finance and reliable logistics solutions is the largest prohibitor for businesses seeking to expand across Africa and into global markets. Africa PLC overcomes this by offering several fully integrated and secure digital industrial B2B and B2G marketplaces. These marketplaces assist millions of vetted buyers and SME suppliers manage their supply chains and access competitive trade finance, insurance and logistics services alongside each transaction. Buyers and sellers simply apply for registration. Once vetted and accredited by Africa Investor Ratings, they are listed on the platform and can post catalogues, request proposals, identify qualified business partners, and access competitive trade finance, insurance and logistics solutions. For the public sector, Africa PLC offers crowd buying and secure tender and procurement management platforms that support local content procurement from African SMEs. Africa PLC is committed to supporting the growth of your organization through the African Continental Free Trade Area and globalizing African e-trade.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. It will be my privilege to take you through this exciting time that we are sharing with you today in the next few minutes. I think as leaders we all recognize that we have a responsibility to move society forward. And not only society but also our families. And when we talk about digital trade, the conversation always tends to turn around numbers. But for me, the numbers are only part of that. The numbers actually mean something. When you put the numbers on the scoreboard, it creates job opportunities, it creates education, it improves the quality of life for so many people. So digital trade is really much more than these large numbers that we are talking about. So as a business person, I always like to ask the question, what does it look like on Monday morning? And in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 3 very distinct areas of how we can help you to grow your business and improve the quality of life for those around you. So let me see if I can go back to the presentation and start that. The first area that this new partnership and platform will allow you to grow your business is by opening up new and bigger markets to sell into. Now, when you start to move into multiple markets, it is important to have a single view of all the trade activities that are happening across your organization into those different markets. Not only the different markets, but also the different segments within those markets. And those can be segments, as Hubert mentioned, the healthcare, agribusiness, quite important key industrial sectors for all of the different countries to grow on the continent. Once you start to sell into these markets, you need to export the products. And we all know that there can be a lot of red tape involved when you start to move goods and services across borders. But with our electronic certificate of origin platform, within a few minutes, you can obtain the necessary regulatory required documents and move those products from one environment to the next. Now, also as an important part, sometimes SMEs have a challenge with not moving the inventory fast enough. Now, we're very excited to launch an additional part of our platform in Q1 next year, in January 2020, which will offer SMEs the ability to pull products together and offer group-buy deals to customers. And that, in essence, means that multiple customers can participate in a single transaction and allow those minimum volumes for SMEs to actually get on the scoreboard. After you've introduced yourself into new and bigger markets, the next step would be to maintain a healthy debtors book. This is such a critical part of any SME business. Sometimes there are unfortunates like bad debt provision and the compliance, the IFRS 9, and all of those things are taken care of automatically by doing the right calculations to provide for those numbers. A key part for me is always to evaluate the risk before you start with a transaction. And at Africa PLC, we can do that by onboarding your new customers by performing a credit vetting exercise. So what that in essence means is that we can electronically submit and receive a risk score within a few minutes across multiple countries. And that is a big advantage if you want to trade across corridors and you have never actually met people, but you need to start the transaction. What's important with this initiative is that the onboarding timelines can sometimes be frustrating and it slows down the pace of a transaction. And by doing this credit vetting and making sure that you have an appropriate risk profile on the buyer, that can reduce your timeframes, let's say by up to 60%. After you've engaged in the market activity, you are quite confident about your risk profile. The next step would be to engage in the cash flow that your business needs to facilitate the additional trade. And in order to do that, when you start to buy products, we can offer you comparative quotes from multi-vendors across multiple countries. And that can help you to obtain the correct product at the correct price. And once you've selected that and you now need to buy the product, there are various different cash flow mechanisms to procure the goods. Obviously, there are standard things like card transactions, bank transfers, etc. We've also added an advanced facility for digital assets, and by that we refer to as cryptocurrencies. So it's still in an early stage in adoption in Africa, but we do feel that cryptocurrency is going to become a very secure way of procuring goods and services. And then a very exciting part of the platform is to apply for a trade account. That can be either a trade finance account or a supply chain finance account, where you can obtain the necessary credit facilities from approved financial institutions and private institutions that participate in the program to help you to stretch your cash flow so that your cash flow can move around quickly and you can grow your business. Now, on Monday morning, what needs to be done? We would like to call on you today to take your business to market. And that would require 2 minutes of your time. Show your support for the Continental Free Trade Area and become part of the largest free trade area in the world. By visiting AfricaPLC.com today, you can register for free and you can join this quest of digitizing your business and becoming one of the millions of SMEs on the continent that take the first step towards digital trade. And when you start on this journey, there is a lot of support that will follow on the platform. And there is a full support team to help you guide how to put your products on the platform, how to sell them effectively, how to apply for the finance packages, and then ultimately to grow your revenue and your business.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.